snacks? What it do, snackers and snackers? It's your boy Gage. That's the dude Joe.
Yo.
That's the guy Sin. And we all saw Avengers Endgame.
Yes, we did.
This is Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and talk about things happening across pop culture. Except today, we're only talking about one of those things.
There's only one thing that
One
needs to
thing
be
is
discussed.
I mean, listen, we could talk Game of Thrones, but no. This is all about Endgame. So I'm going to tell you now, we are going to discuss Endgame with full spoilers. If you haven't seen it, 1, what are you doing? 2, fix your life. 3, go and see it. Then come back and watch this.
Yes.
Then comment, like, subscribe.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
In that order. But if you have seen it, stick around.
Because it's about
Comment, like, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Hit the ding-a-ling bell. We're going all the way in. Gentlemen, are you ready?
Oh, man.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You look so serious.
It's a serious time right now.
Is it a serious time?
Serious time.
Things have happened.
It's the end of an era.
It is the end of an era.
It's the end of an era.
So look, this is where I'm at. First, before we even really start to dig, I just want to know one word. How do you feel about the movie? Sin, go. One word. Don't ask me no questions.
Answer no question.
You was about to.
No, I was thinking of what the one word is. That's what I was thinking. You got to bleep it out, but
Oh, okay.
Okay, I don't.
Okay.
Are we gonna beat that out?
Yes, beep it out.
All right, cool. Complete.
Okay. I like that.
that's a good one.
For me, satisfactory. Which might sound like a minimizing it, but nah, like satisfactory
Okay.
is where I'm at.
Okay.
So I would ask you to explain your one word, but I'm not. I'm gonna let them do it,
Okay.
and I'll let y'all have it out with them. What I want to do first is I want to talk about the length and pacing of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I want to start.
Cool.
Okay? Because we knew going in 3 hours, 2 minutes
Yep. Mhm.
running time. Which, look,
That's not.
includes like 20 minutes of trailers and whatever else, right? Like, you know what I mean? But 3 hours and 20 minutes it's a long movie. But the word on the street was already like, you don't even, like, people aren't even getting up to go pee. You know what I mean? Like, it's serious. So I'm going to start by saying that while sitting in the movie during my first viewing, that's right, my first viewing, it felt a little slow.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time it picks up, it feels like all of that pacing in the beginning was necessary.
Agree.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I was gonna ask, my next word was gonna, do you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You would
absolutely,
agree.
Yeah.
How do you feel overall about the pacing, about the length? Would you have gone? Would it have been okay if it was longer? Do you think it like was perfect, or do you think maybe we could have dealt with a little bit more?
I think a little bit more wouldn't have hurt, but I think because of the way the movie was paced, just like you said, the beginning it's a little slow, but I think that was that necessary slow to set up and build certain things going on in the rest of the movie. Correct. So I was perfectly fine. By the time that slowness got to the head and then everything just took off and started moving, I was like, oh, ain't no time to think about going to the bathroom now.
We on the train and the train is going, guys.
And turn it back.
But just saying, like, even like let's jump to I'm not gonna jump too far, but let's say the end of the movie where big battle.
Hold on.
Big battle.
I'm not going to jump too far.
I can't explain
He goes
it.
right to
I don't want to spoil it, damn it.
We're doing spoilers. It's fine. Like
The big battle. It's hard. Like, I've been reserved and holding on now. I have to get out of the shell now. Like, this is it.
I'm not going to go too far. I'm just going to go to the end.
Straight to the end. Spoiler boys. Yeah.
But the big battle. Like, honestly, I could see something like they did with the Lord of the Rings movie, and maybe there's an extended big battle. Maybe,
you mean like for like the DVD?
Maybe for the DVD
like
release.
Okay.
Like, I could see something like that. But honestly, if that joint was 3.5 hours, I still think in small little locations where they could put tidbits and
They
things,
could have added a little bit.
it still wouldn't have hurt at all. I think just because of how they thought out everything, and at the same time, they had to account for the all other MCU movies and trying to tie up different ends for certain things that have been dropped in there. To just factor in all of that and then to still tell the story of Endgame as his own thing was an absolute amazing feat in itself. Now, granted, if we don't get any extra footage other than the 3 hours and 2 minutes of what the movie is,
you're cool with that?
I'm cool with it.
Okay.
I'm cool with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think 3 hours and 2 minutes was good. If there is an extended version coming, I will gladly take it.
Sure.
And watch it all day long.
Sure.
But I'm happy with what we got. I agree with the pacing. There was some times that when it was slow, but still, in Marvel's way, kept it entertaining. Kept you engaged until they, like you said, got that car warmed up and
then
slammed on that gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you all think that the 5-year jump was a lot? Like, did that seem like too long?
No.
Because I think when we had that conversation a while back.
We did.
Certain others said 10 years. I was like, that was way too long.
Yeah.
But initially I said like 1 to 3, I think I said.
Like for me, like after they mentioned the 5-year jump and we get into a scene what's going, like you forget it's 5 years. Like once
not even necessarily, but like how we saw like in the trailers, we seen Black Widow 3 different times with 3 different hairstyles and everything. You know what? And now it all makes sense while we've seen the 3 different ones. But I think the 5 years was done pretty well, just to see the effects on how not only did it affect the Avengers individually as themselves, but the world itself.
Yeah, I mean, I think the significance of the 5-year jump, more than anything else, I think the thing that I didn't expect was that, I guess to a certain extent, I was thinking, okay, in Infinity War, Thanos makes a point of saying to Gamora, like, how well her planet is doing now that he did what he did. Like, he went there and he wiped out half of the population. And, like, kids aren't going to sleep hungry. And, like, you know what I mean? And they're thriving and whatever, right? Which was justification to him, and him trying to use it as justification for her for why he was doing what he was doing. Or that he was right anyway. Not why he was doing it, but that he was right. But to see that 5-year jump, and then the very first thing after it says 5 years later is you see the harbor in New York around Ellis Island, and like nothing's happening. There's no people. Like, for whatever reason, people just were not able to move on, right? Like, people weren't thriving. They weren't doing better. It wasn't about, like, everything remained like it was when it first happened, it seemed like. And then he talks about that a little bit when he says, like, you guys showed me that as long as people can remember what it was like, they won't allow themselves to move on and accept that things are better. You know what I mean? Like, that there's more for them this way or whatever. So he, at that point, he knew he had to get rid of everything, and start all over from scratch. And so I think that was really what the significance of the 5-year jump was. I was thinking, okay, 5 years later, and I was thinking, okay, you're gonna see people kind of moving on, and people find a way, you know, nah, bruh, not even. We even got the Russo in there talking about.
I thought that was pretty dope.
Like, going on his date, and you know what I mean, like, so, yeah, I mean, the 5-year jump was a little tricky, and it wasn't exactly what I was expecting, but I liked the way that it panned out. How satisfied are you guys with where every character's story arcs ended? Is there anybody who you feel like their arc is incomplete or they didn't do well? I mean, at least for the core members, right?
I think we can all agree, like, Black Widow is probably the one out of the mix that kind of didn't get to see everything.
Yeah, but is her arc complete? You know what I mean? Like, did it...
I feel like she feels like, you know what, because she sacrificed herself, I think that's how she felt, as though, you know, I can't redeem myself for, you know, all the things that I've done in the past.
It's her way of making up for it. No, her and Clint were trying to, pretty much were fighting over the exact same reason almost.
Yeah, but his was recent.
Right.
and hers was not.
Right.
And he was doing it. He was killing all those people as a reaction to losing his family and feeling like all these bad people
Are
managed
still
to
here,
survive
right.
for whatever reason, right? And that to him that wasn't fair. And he was using himself as the great equalizer, right? For her, having gone back and just rewatched like Age of Ultron, in Age of Ultron, she says multiple times throughout the course of the film that she's got red in her ledger. She's trying to clear that red in her ledger. And I was honestly expecting for that to be part of the conversation that she and Hawkeye had when they were trying to like debate about who was going to be the person to sacrifice themselves. Was I was expecting her to say, I still got this red in my ledger. You know what I mean? And I can't get it out. You know what I mean? Or whatever. So, you know, I also think that really the idea of him dying, his family coming back, and then her having to go and tell them that he gave himself, you know, or whatever, would have been the right call. I feel like her arc was completed.
Think so?
I mean, I understand what you're saying, that maybe she's the one. She's the main one who you... But as far as Tony is concerned, like, because they flipped the script, right? I mean, in Civil War, Cap dies. And I think that's what a lot of us were expecting. And I think a lot of us, even down to the last minute, thought it might still
be Cap.
Oh, yeah.
Was going down.
The man was squaring up against Thanos, his army by himself. It was like...
after he went ham on that shield and broke, I was like, here we go. I was like, here we go, Cap. It's about to happen. Oh, I'm about to be crying. I was like, here it comes.
I thought he was about to say, yo, I can do this all day, and then just get
listen. When Thanos was literally pushing Stormbreaker into Thor's chest. The way Thor was doing it to him, I was like, bruh. Fat Thor about to buy it right now, bro.
It was going in.
And then my man got that. Then Cap got that Mjolnir.
You're worthy! I knew
it! Right before getting kicked in his face really hard. Really
Cap
hard.
put in that work.
He did.
He put in that work.
Yo, he acted like he had Mullen there for like a couple years and had been practicing and doing everything with that job. I know the ins and outs, all the tricks.
Did you feel like everybody's story arc?
I did.
You felt good about it?
When I thought about, you know, how all the core people left things, you know, Thor's gonna be a guardian now. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm cool with that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I'm moving on to a new thing. Left New Asgard, the Valkyrie to, you know, rule over. So I was cool with that. I was even cool with Hulk kind of being messed up, but like, nah, I feel like everything with the Gamma led me to be the one to use it and bring everybody back. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely did Cap going back and living his life.
Everybody else,
you know what I mean? Just getting old and passing on the torch. I like the way all the core members closed everything out.
Anybody that wasn't one of those original core members that you feel like didn't get a good... Like, I'm a little upset about Vision.
Yeah, I can...
I'm still wondering what they do with that. Does, like, Shuri bring him back, or...
Because he was technically, like, a computer or android or whatever, so he...
They ain't rebuilding him. Rebuilding, like, it may not be the same.
I'm pretty sure they go through Stark's notes and find a way to bring him back. You know what I mean? So
Banner's notes.
Well, yeah, them two. Yeah. There's a way they could probably pull it off, but nah. Outside of the core members,
everybody. Yeah,
I was good.
Even with all the others, like I don't even feel like it was still so many characters.
So many characters. The A-Force moment was
phenomenal.
Bananas.
Phenomenal.
The running of the gauntlet.
Dope.
You know what I mean? Like the little running of the...
Give it to me.
And I was like, this dude just told us about it.
I know, he better not put that on, right? He better not put that on. Yeah, I was with you. 100%. Yeah, big moments. Obviously, Cap getting Mjolnir.
Mm-hmm. Very big moment.
Huge moment.
Very big moment.
Was alluded to again in Age of Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
We were waiting for that.
Mm-hmm.
He was faking it.
Do you think he was faking it?
I don't think he was faking it.
I really just don't think he wanted to.
You think he was already worthy? You think he scared himself? Like, man, I better not pick this up.
I don't think necessarily he scared himself. I really just think he didn't want to hurt Thor's pride at that point.
Nah,
Why?
I don't think he was
Why?
worthy just yet. I think he was almost there.
Like why? Like to me, it's like why even try then? Cause like Black Widow was just like, nah, I don't even need to know that. Like, I don't even gotta test that theory. Like I'm good. Like, I mean, okay, that's a discussion for another time. But okay, so A-Force moment, obviously, on your left.
Yep.
That whole
scene, that whole setup was like
that sequence. From the moment when Cap was down and started to get up, tighten his half a shield. You know what I'm saying? At that point, it basically was the Wakanda version of the shield, right? Tighten that joint up. I'm gonna face you down by myself with your whole army. It is what it is.
Yep.
I'm gonna make you work for it.
Facts.
And then that on your left, like that strange moment. You know what I'm saying? Panther and Shuri and Okoye walking through first. Falcon coming flying through behind that.
That was
then all
so
of the
amazing.
portals starting to open and everybody starting to come out.
This is
Spider-Man coming out, Wasp
then the portal
coming
opens
out.
and they just literally like, bruh. If Doctor Strange could do that and just take them from Titan to Earth, man, why he ain't do that a long time ago? Bro? He could have did that while they was on Titan or something. He could have opened that joint and was like, hey, listen, we need some help. He about to be here.
But probably when you look through all them different things and saw the plan, like it's gotta play out
It's
this
cool.
way.
14 million.
Nonetheless, they walk out and then Cap does the one thing we've been waiting for.
Avengers.
Assemble. Oh my god!
Like, oh, the chills.
Favorite moment.
I mean,
Favorite moment. Waiting for that for all
Ever?
these
a
films.
decade?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
forever?
Like,
Yes.
I mean, it's
And it was worth it. It was worth the wait.
oh yeah,
It
like,
was definitely
most
worth the
certainly.
wait.
because that was a lot of Avengers.
That was a lot of Avengers. He pretty much just inducted like the whole country of Wakanda.
Yeah.
Became,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
all Avengers now.
Oh,
All the
yeah,
the wizards
my man
and all them.
Baku was there.
Yeah.
Like
You all are
it
Avengers.
was, you are now.
Put the pause on
We getting
Thanos.
ready to avenge something right now.
Oh, Thanos,
Right now.
ooh, we about to give you a run, homie.
Yeah, like the look on Thanos' face
He was pissed.
when all them joints started opening up.
He was pissed.
You know what I'm saying? It was just like, but I thought it was my destiny, dog.
This is my destiny.
my
You already
destiny.
did it.
Not today. It was your destiny. It happened already.
You did it. Congratulations. You did it. But
We ain't doing it here again.
not this time.
You did it, but we're gonna fix it.
That's a wrap. All right, so where does this place for you in all of the MCU films? Is it the best one?
Right now, I want to say yes because of how they took all of everything and tied everything up in a way that pleased the fans.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, it pleased the fans. We got great moments, closure on a lot of things, stuff to look forward to in the future. Like, as far as MCU goes, yeah, best.
And that's how I feel. Like it was just a complete. It was perfect. Like everything summed up in this one movie.
Okay.
Answered. We got questions answered. We saw
All the throwbacks, all the cutbacks,
all
and
the
stuff in
throwbacks, and going and seeing different angles of certain events that were happening. Thor going back. His mom like. I know you're not the Thor of my time. And she was
Hey, you fat.
Yes, I'm from the future.
Yeah,
like all of that was just beautiful. Like I feel like the other movies, like it's hard to necessarily say one Captain America movie or one Thor movie was greater than bringing all of these characters together on screen. Just like Chris Pratt recorded a video he probably shouldn't have recorded, but like even him saying this is probably the one and only time you're really going to see like all these people together under one roof on screen.
Set. I mean, it's not like they didn't bring all of them together.
Right.
Marvel 10 years joint.
Right.
I get what I get what he's saying. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm gonna say that this is probably the best movie that has. I mean, the stakes were so high.
Yes.
The stakes were so high that being able to do this and pull off what the Russos pulled off, what Kevin Feige pulled off, what Marvel and Disney pulled off, with what that team of actors and stunt people and like all of the people who were behind making this movie happened, and then because they filmed that movie like a year ago, like they did that movie before they did Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they kept it a secret, because that in and of itself,
That's a task.
that's a feat.
Yes.
That is a feat, bruh. Like they probably had hits out on people like already.
Straight
Like you might be. So we just gonna go ahead and put the hit out now, just in case.
Man, you ain't gonna make
Like
it, buddy.
You know,
I mean,
like
another thing to attest on how big the movie is. First time ever, movie theater stayed open for 72 hours.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like we went to a 2:30
I was
a.m.
about to say
show.
that too.
Just
Super early in the
did.
morning
Yeah.
shows, like even like
Packed.
back before they started doing like the Thursday shows, it was always, you know what, you gotta go at midnight, you out by 2 or 3 o'clock, but nah,
and that's it.
Jones don't start until
we going in at 2:30.
Right.
Getting out when the sun's coming up.
Oh yeah.
History.
Yeah. I mean, there's no two ways about it, and theaters just trying to keep up. Like the records that this film set over the weekend, and then the combination of like the record that is set Monday. You know what I mean? Like 35 million on a Monday. You know what I'm saying? And then what it's supposed to do the following weekend.
Yeah.
And like it's just this movie is bigger than everything else.
And it
Period.
deserves multiple viewings.
Yeah.
It's a
It
lot.
does. And I'm gonna say this, and we talked about this a little bit while we were at Awesome Con, but you know, the thing about this is it concerns me that I feel like this movie won't get the recognition that it deserves from like the Academy.
I
No.
agree. No,
You know
I
what
totally
mean?
agree.
For
It needs to.
all of what the range of emotions that you have to be able to pull off as an actor in one of these films, from the comedy to being distraught, to having like mental breakdowns, to having serious action moments of like there's just such an array that you have to be able to have. You know what I mean? Especially when you know what they're doing with these films is akin to what they credit people who do what they do on Broadway to. You're dealing with a set, and there's all these people watching. I mean, they're on a set, and being on a set is one thing, but when the majority of it is green screen,
There's
you know what I
there's
mean? Like,
nothing in
you're
there.
pretending that so much of what's happening is
It's
happening,
right.
And you are acting against other people, or like your face is in a box because you're Iron Man, and you're looking around and pretending you're seeing things that don't exist. You know what I mean?
But you have to pull it off.
There is something special about what these cast members have done, and what these filmmakers have been able to pull off, and in my heart of hearts, it is a true testament to the strength of what comic books have been for decades, right? And what people thought of comic books, or the kind of respect that comic books didn't get, right? When you take that to the big screen and you start to understand what it means to serialize these things and have characters that exist throughout these other things,
And they start showing up
when
in
one
other
thing
people's
happens,
properties and stuff like that.
yeah, it actually means something, and it's like a soap opera. You know what I mean? And it is. Those things are things that now you really do find many other franchises attempting to mimic.
Yeah.
And it is very different from having a part 2 and a part 3 or even a part 6 in a series of films, right? That do have the same characters. You're talking about giving somebody their own world and having their own thing, and then tying those things together. You know what I mean? Even when maybe you didn't even like the other one so much. Like, people don't really like the first 2 Thor films that much, but they loved him. You know what I mean? Like, it worked, and he was an important member of everything that was happening, and people knew what it meant when he showed up in the first Avengers film.
Oh yeah.
So
the thing about, like I said, the big 3. That's another moment I loved when they walked up on Thanos together. Like back
those
to the
three.
like
Those main
the ones that started like dope. They start boxing them in like
Like Thanos don't know what's coming. It's like he's faced us all, but he hasn't faced us all together.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Straight up. I mean, even honestly, like even Tony's attitude when he made it back to Earth. You know what I mean? And the anger that he had towards Cap.
Yo, that was real.
It seemed pretty real.
He was
seemed
hot,
pretty real. It seemed pretty real. Like I was so satisfied. so satisfied
Yeah.
with what it is, and so now it's just about what they do next. And to be honest with you, while I'm not exactly sure what it is, I'm not worried about it.
I'm not either.
You know what I mean?
I'm not either.
I'm just let me know when the first
Where I
whatever
gotta
store.
be.
Yeah, just let me know where it is, and I'm ready.
I feel like
I'm ready to start.
we're gonna get that clear palette. It's like literally almost like we're gonna be starting over again. Even though we have certain puzzle pieces in place. Like say let's take Spider-Man. We know Spider-Man is probably gonna be somewhere along the lines in Phase 4 doing his thing, but with the newer movies, the newer ones that haven't characters that haven't been introduced into the Marvel realm.
Like
MCU and
Shang-Chi
things like that.
Yeah.
It's almost like we're starting over again from how we're getting that Iron Man 1. We're learning who this is. It's the exact same
we
thing.
have all these new characters that they introduced already, like Cassie Lang.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it just, yeah, I mean...
I'm not worried, though.
It's going to be interesting to see what comes next. This is going to be just interesting in a good way.
I'm so ready.
Ready for it.
Oh,
See
yeah.
what Falcon going to do as Captain America?
Probably in a TV show.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't think we'll ever see it on the big screen. I don't think we'll ever see it on the big screen. But I think in the TV show, him and Winter Soldier running around together will be a thing for sure. And that's about it. And I think we'll see old Cap.
I do
That's
too.
the only gaping hole, to me, plot hole left in the movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Was where he came from, how he bypassed.
Because the way it seemed like, according, let's say, what Bruce was explaining, it's like, if we, say with the stones, if we remove the stones from here, it's going to create this alternate time line, whatever, but if I put the stone back, it's going to put everything back in place. But he technically went back. Yes, he did put everything back in place, I guess is what it is saying, but he still lived his life to the fullest, and it was just there.
He probably was already sitting there when they first walked up and they didn't even notice him.
Right.
That's
what I really think.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that makes sense to me, is that he went back in time and he lived as a second Steve Rogers during that time period. You know what I mean?
Could be right.
He would have had to have.
Yeah.
Because it would mean for him, if he was already sitting there on that bench when that happened, they just weren't paying him any mind, right? Then it would have to have been that they both existed at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he just never, and he went off and he lived his life. But we could still get that stronger version of an old Cap that comes back and kind of talks them through stuff.
Right.
Mentors them.
Which was a thing that happened in the comics.
Yeah.
He got scrapped at least that one time. Come back, I may be old, but I can do this all day.
Yeah,
mark some.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he would have outlived everybody.
Straight up.
You know what I mean? He if he still had the serum, you know what I mean? He would have outlived everybody else anyway. He would still have some strength and all that kind of stuff. So, look, man, I think we could get some really good what if.
Certainly.
For sure, especially now.
Plenty good what if stuff will come out of this.
So, I'm good with it, man. I hope y'all are good with it. We need to wrap this up. Listen, y'all let us know what you thought. Tell us how you felt about the movie. Did you like it? Where does it fall? Across the board with all the rest of the MCU films. Is it the greatest movie of all time?
Ooh.
It's possible. It's possible. While you're thinking about it and typing that up for us, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and you hit the ding-a-ling bell. And then shoot over to patreon.com/loading stats where you can support us there. We greatly appreciate those who are. We're looking forward to those of you who do. With that, we're out. Toodles and loose.